Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Going in with the Sakamoto-san tonight. Final Fantasy Tactics. Let's go! Yo, you all have maybe you do. Maybe you do for those that have been here for like a long time. I have been so hyped since this started, since everybody started pulling up on this today. I was getting random messages since end of last week. Summer Games Fest, we were gonna see Final Fantasy Tactics finally. Then about 2 days ago, somebody was like, "Hey, yo, there might be a thing happening." This is before I think they announced the state of play, which would have been like a week ago or something like that. But anyway, it was like a couple days before the state of play was announced. And after the state of play was announced, everybody and their mother was messaging me, "Yo, Tactics is dropping at Final Fantasy State of Play." God damn. Like, I am so ready. Look, y'all got no idea. Y'all got no idea. Like, I know you all love Tactics. I know you do. That is one of 3 games that, look, I've got to go back. I love Sid. I got to go back to Antidote. This is like one of my favorite Final Fantasy tracks ever. I love this track so much. Anyway, you all can tell I'm excited. I was so excited. I was like, can I even stream tonight? Like, can I even stream? Like, and be coherent? Can I even be coherent tonight with this Final Fantasy Tactics news? Can I even be conversational? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Throw likes in the description. Yo, like the video, man. This is big. This is big stuff happening. This is big stuff, man. I am so excited. I want everybody to feel my joy. Like, when there was a point in my life when I was out of college, nobody was hiring graphic designers anymore. I was waiting tables. I was living in my car for a short period of time. I sold everything I had on this earth to pay bills and stuff like that. 3 games stayed in my backpack in my car and I never sold. Final Fantasy VII, Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy Tactics. I never sold those 3 games, ever, because they were so important to me. Final Fantasy Tactics getting a remaster, yes. All day, yes. Stop the show right there. Whatever is going on, it stops. Whatever is going on, it stops. If I'm in the middle of a boss fight, clear obscure, when this drops, it stops. I stop playing whatever I'm playing and I go play Tactics. I don't care what else is happening. I don't care what else is coming out. GTA 6 dropping whatever. Final Fantasy VII Part 3 dropping a demo. I don't give a shit. Final Fantasy Tactics gets played to completion. To completion. I'm pounding the pulpit. To completion. For anything. It's one of the greatest stories ever written. Ever written. Pen to paper. The Final Fantasy Tactics storyline for me is up there with the Lord of the Rings. It's up there with the Lord of the Rings. God damn, we're about to be eating. What did I tell you on the stream last night? I couldn't say anything because people bitch at me. I'm friends with a lot of people in the industry. I don't out them because that's just not that's not what friends do. You know, I hear things, I hear chatter. 50% of it happens, 50% of it doesn't. When I tell y'all to start getting hype about things, it's because people are talking to me. No, I will not out my sources. I've had people rail me in comments before because I won't do that. That's just not what grown-ups do. That's not what grown-ups do. People tell you something in good faith. They don't care that you talk about it. They don't care that you talk about it. But they don't want to be mentioned. I won't mention them. And I won't mention the things they tell me until this starts popping off. Last night I told you all, second half of this year, we are eating good. I told you all last night. I told you all last Monday during Memorial Day. I said, look, our Memorial Day stream, I said, look, we're going to start seeing a lot of stuff rolling out. A lot of stuff. Now, I will go full 100% with you all. I did not think Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster was going to get shown yet. I knew it was happening. I didn't think it was happening yet. I am so excited. I am so excited. Because that surprised. A lot of things don't surprise me. Because, you know, stuff and things. But, man, to tell you all that I am beside myself with excitement right now. And I'm a massive Resident Evil fan. Resident Evil 9 is not even resonating with me right now because Final Fantasy Tactics is happening. Yo, look, I realize my volume's probably pretty loud here. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm really hyped to talk to you all tonight. So that was my intro to the discussion. How y'all doing tonight? I think you're probably doing pretty good. I think you're probably doing pretty good right now. If you're anything like me, you're doing pretty good. But anyway, reading some of this. Yeah, music's high. Music's high. Yeah. Now, here's my thing. Are we getting a shadow drop? Are we getting a shadow drop? Are we going to get a... Like I said on Twitter, and I said it backwards because I'm not like... Is the music still loud? Music should be good now. Music should be good now. Music should definitely be good now. What was I saying just now? Her. Oh, shadow drop. Yo, Justin with the gift subs. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the love and support. So, yeah, Chris, I saw you mention this in the Discord. I saw you put this up in Discord, and it was something I was speaking with a couple of people about today when this started ramping up. When that Final Fantasy Tactics presentation is over, they tell us about all the new stuff in the remaster, classes, missions, whatever. And please let us be able to take missions from the bar, like go fight kind of stuff missions from the rumors. What if Square, if at any of that it says available today? Coming real close so I can tell you. I'll be there. We will be right here. Anything else be damned. Playing it hard, baby. We will be on it. We will absolutely be on it. Look, I will be beside myself when that opening hits. Oh, dude, it's over. It's a wrap. And that's the other part of this, Scotty and Peach Booty and everybody else saying it, and Chris. I don't think Square has representation on Switch day one. This would give them representation on Switch day one. Day one. Charge whatever you want to for it. Give me a physical edition too. Like, if the digital's shadow dropping and they do like a later physical edition, I'm in. I'm in. Just, here's the check. My name's on the check. Put the amount. Put the amount. I mean, only up to a certain point. I ain't got it like that. I ain't got it like that yet. But, you know. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail. But hey. Yeah, remake's not day one. But, yo, man. I am really, really excited. Like, just the things they can do. The things, yeah, it's going to Switch 2, but it's not going to be day one. It's not going to be day one. I think they're still getting that ready. No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm thinking about getting a PlayStation, whatever the portable thing's called. I forget what it's called. But the portable PlayStation, I'm thinking about getting one of those. Considering it. Yeah, Scotty, and they're going to overhaul it. Like, look. Final Fantasy Tactics and Lunar are the two games that made me just fall in love with grinding in JRPGs. Which actually made me fall in love with JRPGs is how you grind, how you level, how you get better. I loved grinding through Tactics. Board by board, figuring out how to take down the different classes and what was needed, what was required of you. It was the first game that really made me think, man, I have to strategize. I have to think outside the box to get through the Cellar of Sandmouse, is what it was called on PS1. To get through, what was the... I'm trying to think what the name of the... yeah, it was the Sandrat Cellar. Yeah, that was always a tough battle for me. And I would grind it out until I got there. But, yeah, man, so many great things. Agrius Oaks is my favorite Tactics character. Final Fantasy Tactics really inspired a lot of my writing, how I write, how I have characters talk to each other in story. My main character, Renzia, I think was subconsciously influenced by Ramza. Just the way his name sounds and kind of rolls off the tongue. I think I was kind of influenced by that. And so much more. Just so much more. Like, that game is fantastic. Now, it's not like Final Fantasy VII. That game didn't inspire droves of people to become the modern age of game devs. But it inspired a lot of people, and that game is fantastic. It stands on its own merits. It's its own thing. And if they're remastering this thing, and they shadow drop this thing, they're going to crash servers. Yeah, I mean, and if what the way I understand it is to be believed, Tactics has been ready for a while. Like, and again, you know, take this with a grain of salt. This is just kind of what I've heard. I don't know if this is true or not, but Tactics has been ready. I think it's been ready for a few months. So if it's had extra time in the oven, then yeah, we're good. We're good. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that this will be big. But that's Tactics. There is other stuff happening. There is so much other stuff happening. Like, what do you all want to talk about? Let's start there. What do you all want to talk about? There's so much happening. Yeah, like a new Final Fantasy Tactics. I have heard the same thing. I don't know how true that is. I've seen people online talking about it. That's as much as I know. It'd be interesting, but they did Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and it was not as good as the original Tactics. It just wasn't. The writing wasn't there. The storytelling, the intrigue. One of the things about Final Fantasy Tactics is the intrigue, the political and religious intrigue going on. And man, it's just so good. Chrono Trigger remake or Final Fantasy 14 remake 2. Final Fantasy 14 remake. Oh, you mean Final Fantasy 4 remake because of the Dragoon call out on X? I've seen people running with that. I think we get a 9 remake before we get anything else. But, I mean, who knows? And here's the other thing. Here's what I was thinking when they were talking about the Kane Highwind thing. They put that tweet on X earlier today. What if they add new guest characters to Tactics? Like in War of the Lions, of course you had Cloud in the OG game. That was like it. but then they added a bunch of other characters in Tactics War of the Lions. What if they add even more characters you can find? Because you had Balthier in War of the Lions, because 12 had just come out. What if you get, you know, you could unlock like Lightning, or you could unlock Clive. Oh my god! Oh my god! Clive in War of the Lions in Final Fantasy Tactics? Clive unlockable? You shitting me? Noctis, his boys? You shitting me? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh yeah, Peach Booty. Yeah, that original. That original is where it's at. I guarantee you. I almost guarantee you, if they announce a remaster tomorrow, I like Noctis. I like Noctis alright. If they announce a remaster tomorrow, part of the package is going to be new characters, including, if you cannot do a Tactics remaster and not have Clive in it. I don't think you can't make Clive, you can't not make him an unlockable character in like the Deep Dungeon or something like that. Can you imagine rolling up to Saint Ajora at the end of Tactics with Clive, Cloud, and that was what I was going to say about the Kain thing. What if the Kain tweet is that you can unlock Kain as a Dragoon in Final Fantasy Tactics? What? Are you serious? Auron. I'd put Auron in Tactics. Absolutely. Put Kain in there. Put Terra in there from Final Fantasy VI. The possibilities are endless. Endless. We'll see. We will see. We will see. But I'll tell you what. If a Final Fantasy Tactics remaster is announced tomorrow with a shadow drop, guaranteed, that's all I'm playing until it's completed. Completion. Keep the same sprite style or touch style. You can touch it up, but I mean, make it look good on 4K and stuff like that. Don't blur it out or anything, but I would keep the same sprite style. Yeah, you could clean it up a little bit, like the Final Fantasy pixel remasters did. Don't go changing color grading and stuff like that like they did in that, but it's a beautiful game, and the artwork is amazing. The art direction in Tactics is amazing. They're gonna have to adapt it for 16:9 ratio. I think that'll be one of the biggest challenges. That might lead to bigger boards. We might get bigger boards at 16:9. Alright, I got lost. There's like a conversation going on in the conversation. It's more than the tech thing. Oh, Witcher 4. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. No, that game is not going to run like that on your PS5. It's probably not even going to run like that on your PS5 Pro. It certainly isn't going to run like that on my PS5. I got the OG PS5. Final Fantasy Tactics full voice acting. That would be awesome, Chris. I would love that. I would love that. But also, that scares me a little bit because it would be easy to butcher the dialogue in that game. The dialogue in that game, I think, is best read because it's like an old English. You know, I don't need some, you know, newbie voice actor trying to do Thunder God Sid's old English accent, or Ramza speaking an old English. I don't need that in my life. I don't. I would, however, like more cutscenes. I would like some more cutscenes for pivotal moments. I would like to see them expand it. It's only 5 chapters. It's only a 5-chapter story. I would like to see them add one more chapter. I would be cool with that. Because the story is so good, man. Just give me more. Just give me more. And anything they add, the writing has to be on point. The thing about Tactics is everything connects. Everything with the underhanded, the dark back shady dealings and stuff like that in the story, it all ties together. It all comes to... Yeah, one more chapter will be fine because it is a long game anyway. Like, I don't want them to water it down. I don't need a 10-chapter Tactics. 6 or even 7 would be cool. But we'll see. We'll see. Michael, I think it will. I think it will, Michael, because the people at Square, not the higher-up boardroom decision makers, but the producers and directors of these games, man, they know what they know where they're working. They know what their stuff is. They know how important their stuff is to not just their fans, but to the history of gaming. These directors are like Kitase, he knows. Nomura, say what you want about Nomura, he knows. Yoshi P, that man definitely knows. All these people, they know. They absolutely know. And the people actually making the games, if Yoshi P Studios handing the Tactics remaster, I am totally fine. Because I think that game inspired a lot. Like, I know he's been quoted in interviews as saying like earlier Final Fantasy stuff, but I think Tactics is in there for him. I really do. Yeah, like, art. Like, I want so much artwork. Like, the thing I think would be really cool with Final Fantasy Tactics is the old PS1. They had to do this thing with the technology. When the board would come in and spin around, it was just a black to blue gradient, or black blue to white gradient in the background, or whatever you had going on. I would like to see art in the background, like world artwork in the background. And maybe you could change the world map a little bit. Like, it'd be kind of cool. Like, I love the fact that it's a map. It's just a map with points on the map and you're going around. But if they did something with, I don't know, something with the artwork of the map would be really cool. But don't change too much. I mean, the game is perfect. That game is perfect. I mean, it's one of the few games I can say in gaming history. Like Final Fantasy VII, you've never heard me say Final Fantasy VII is perfect. It's not. Tactics is perfect, man. Like, people complain about the balancing issues and combat. I never had a problem with it. I'm like, man, just grind. Grind and crush whatever's in front of you. That's it. And I love that things level with you, like in the wild battles, like the non-story battles, but the wild battles. I love that things level with you. And later in the game, you just smash story battles, because if you go grind in wild areas, then you're leveling like crazy. Yeah, exactly, Scotty. Exactly. Yeah, y'all know my thoughts on 16's story. It felt like they tried to go for adult drama, but it was written by 15-year-olds who had no adult experience. That's how it felt to me. The writing didn't have a punch, and it was like, if you weren't in story, the game was boring. There wasn't anything to do. But I am considering replaying 16, like wiping my 16 and just replaying it. Yeah, Zach, that's one of my big things too, is like, I'm a big fan of the grind. Just grinding out levels. Okay, so we'll segue into that. We're definitely going to see Ghost of Yote gameplay. I think we're going to see more. Well, okay, this might not be state of play. Ghost of Yote, yes, but I think we'll see more of the Witcher stuff at Summer Games Fest. I think we will. The Witcher looks amazing. Witcher 4 looks amazing. Just nasty amazing, right? But that game ain't gonna look like that on my PS5. It's just not. It's still gonna be a great game. I'm still interested to play it. But it'll be interesting to see, like, how they execute the game. The Witcher 3 is a fantastic game. It's not a perfect game. It's a fantastic game, though. The best Witcher game for sure. It's the best Witcher game for sure. So 4 has a lot to live up to. And CD Projekt Red has a lot to live up to as well after the way that Cyberpunk launched. Now, it wound up finding its way. But, yeah, I think that taught them to take their time coming out of the gate, and that's why it's been so long since we've seen Witcher 4. Plus, they've been figuring out Unreal 5. So, a lot of talented people at CD Projekt Red. So we'll see what happens. I'm really stoked to see it. Will Cloud be in FF Tactics? Absolutely. After you get Mustadio and his dad, Robot 8, yeah, Cloud will be in Tactics. Well, yeah, it looked like you were playing a movie, but yeah, I think what you'll get on regular consoles, unless they figure out some kind of like game dev black magic between now and then, which they could, you're probably looking at 60 to 70% as good as what we saw. Be my guess. The side quests and main, well. The side quests, for sure, they spend a lot of time on writing and scenarioing out their side quests. Like, their side quests get like their own scenario. You know, almost like a game has a scenario, then you have side quests. Their side quests are their own scenario. And the fact that they trigger other things is fantastic. So, one of the things that people are going to be looking for in The Witcher 4 is the side quests have to bring it. Because it's kind of like I talk about sometimes with Ubisoft and like Assassin's Creed 2, like they painted themselves into a corner because Ezio Auditore is one of the greatest characters ever made. They made good characters after that, but you were coming down off the mountaintop with each game, further and further down the summit. Witcher 4 can't do that with their side quests. Witcher 3, like, they've got a lot to do. Even if their side quests are as good as The Witcher 3, that's a win. That's a win. There were some side quests in Witcher 3 I didn't care for. I thought I got bored with a couple of them. But all in all, they were good. But yeah, so Witcher 4 looks amazing. We're going to find out more stuff probably later this summer. I think we will see something at Summer Games Fest. I don't know for sure. But I think Geralt will show up in Witcher 4. I think he will. That's the thing. There are lots of Witchers, you know. But I think people got tied to it being like Geralt's quote-unquote game. I'm not as attached to The Witcher as some people are, so when they said Ciri was going to be the main character of this game, I was like, okay, it's fine. And people got up in arms about it. And I get it. They were attached to Geralt. You got a character that you really love. You want to play as that character more. I get it. I was like that. God, I was like that with Devil May Cry 4 when you're playing as Nero, like the whole first half of the game. And I was like, I just want to play as Dante. Give me Dante. You know, I just want to play as this character, you know. So I get it. I get it. The Frying Pan quest. God, that quest sucked. That quest sucked. There was another one too. I can't remember the name of the quest, but it was the drunk guy. Like, you were helping. He had a family and stuff, and it was a long quest. Like, you'd come back later and stuff. I can't remember exactly what the name. It's been years since I played the game, but I remember getting to the end of that quest. And I was kind of like, "That's it. That's it. Okay, okay." Yeah, the Batman thing, yep. The Witcher's story is a really serious story. Well, I look at The Witcher as like an ensemble. I think the overarching thing the world centers around is getting Ciri from point A to point B. Like, for her character arc, that's the most important thing for the world, but it's not necessarily the most important thing for the viewer of the story. So it's more of an ensemble if you look at it that way. Like, if you're like, I'm a Yennefer fan, I don't care about the fate of the world, I just want to see Yennefer get good, you know? I want to see her not be shady, I want to see her get good, you know? Or if you're a fan of Geralt or the other characters, you know? And again, I don't know Witcher enough to make commentary on that, but I do see that. I do see that much of it. The Bloody Bear, and that was it. That was the quest. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my friends I talked to, they were like, you didn't like that? I was like, nah, man, I just felt like I got to the end of that quest, and I was like, that's it? Oh, okay. Yeah. How you ingest a story is all about perspective. So that's why the works that last the test of time are truly great works, because that means people from all ages and all walks of life and all points of view can point to a story and be like, that's a great story. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. You gotta really touch on some, you gotta really hit some touchstones for that to happen. But I think The Witcher's one of those. What is this? I'm getting... Oh, okay, I thought that was something else. The DMs on X are coming in hot and fast. It's a great game. Witcher 3 dropped when I didn't have a PS4. So that kind of tripped me up from playing it for a while. But then I finally got my hands on it. It was really good. So let's talk about the other bet. Right? So what were the bets from last night, chat? The bets were, if we don't see a Chronoverse game, which now looks like it might not happen. If we don't see a Chronoverse game at Summer Games Fest, I throw in 10 gift subs. If we don't see Resident Evil at Summer Games Fest, I throw in 10 subs. If we do see Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster at Summer Games Fest, then it's 10 gift subs. If we do. So it's Chrono Game, Resident Evil. So yeah. But does it count? Does it count if it happens at State of Play and not Summer Games Fest? Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. That's all. That is all. I'll count them both. Like, if Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster shows up at State of Play and not Summer Games Fest, I will still throw in 10 gift subs. How's that? But, the other half of that, well, the other 2/3 of that, is if, yeah, you know what I'm about to say. Like, if it's the other way around, then boom. I might hit all three. On that note, Resident Evil. It looks like it's going to be Resident Evil 9. A Ray prediction that's highly unlikely. Let me think. A Ray prediction that's highly unlikely but fun to talk about. Sega announces, as part of their repackaging or like Sega whatever it is initiative, Panzer Dragoon Remake. Panzer Dragoon Remake from Sega, since they're doing all this cool shit, right? Discuss. But here's the cool thing about all this, right? I was saying on social today, like, summer game hype season is back. We're all the way back. Like, this feels like E3 again. It does. Everybody's wanting to get their stuff out. Microsoft did their thing. Sony's doing their thing tomorrow. Switch is dropping the Switch 2 on Friday, which is the same day. Which is the same day that we're launching Summer Games Fest. It feels like E3 again. And it's that sweet spot, beginning to middle of June. That middle of June is about when E3 was every year. And Mega Man Legends Revival. Didn't I make a joke about that last night? Oh no, yeah, one of my friends messaged me. He was like, dude, Mega Man Legends Remaster's happening. I was like, shut up. Shut up. That would be hype. That would be hype. Because you can't get your hands on a copy of Mega Man Legends 2 for under $200 right now. So that would be that, and I love it when people who scalp classic games like have to eat crow. So, oh well, this is out for $20 on Steam now. I'll skip my $250 have to purchase and have to go find a PS1 deal. Oh yeah, I'm sure a Nintendo event is coming very soon because they're gonna want to get the Switch 2 out, get it in people's hands. Get that first 2 waves of pre-orders out of the way, and then start hitting the non-pre-order consumer market. So they're going to want to throw out some big guns. Look at all this stuff we did. Here's these numbers. Check this out. You know, we got these. Oh, you thought those launch games were cool? Check out these new games. In which their launch games don't do anything for me. So that's why I haven't been on it. Eternal Darkness remake. Well, I could see an Eternal Darkness remaster. I could see that remastered. I don't know if I'd be remaking that yet. But, you know, I mean, well, no, Naughty Dog remastered Last of Us Part 1. They didn't remake it. Or was that a remake? Was that a remake or a remaster? I don't know. I didn't play it. Dude, Rick G. I've been talking about Castlevania for a couple of days now, man. I want something. I have a gut feeling something is happening at Konami with Castlevania. Like, I think they're trying to figure out what to do with that franchise because they know it's money. They know it's got a dedicated fan base. The Netflix series is one of the best shows on Netflix. I haven't watched the latest bit of Nocturne, but it's one of the more highly regarded series, period, on Netflix. Like when Netflix drops new Castlevania episodes, it is appointment television for a lot of their consumer base. Even people who don't like anime, who don't like games. I've got friends who don't like anime, don't like games. Just folks I know. A couple of my cousins that aren't into that stuff. And they're like, yo, what is this Castlevania? I was watching it and it is amazing. I'm like, well, if you like Castlevania, check these things out. Check out Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust because that's obviously where they got their look for everything. That's, you know, these are the games. This is the game it's loosely based on. And then play Curse of Darkness. And they're like, no, I don't want to do all that. But tell me about it. Konami would be stupid to not cash in on this right now. Period. End of story. So I hope something's happening there. Technically a remaster, but it does look like a remake. A lot of remasters now are looking like remakes because the technology jump from PS3 to PS5 has been so crazy. When are we going to start getting some PlayStation 2 remasters, man? That's what I want to know. I hope Capcom's on this Devil May Cry remaster because that's day one. That's minute one. That would be minute one. Devil May Cry remaster. Mark it. I'd be on it immediately. Okay, yeah, so they did remaster it, that's right. And then they called it The Last of Us Part 1. That was the remake, right? Konami is stupid. They are. Bless their hearts. As we in the South say, if someone says bless your heart, it's not good. It is not good. Konami, bless your heart. You're not even trying. Take it back. Konami could be printing money. Screw that. They could be smelting gold. Konami could be just a gold smelter in their basement. It's like they have the Philosopher's Stone. They're just making gold out of nothing. Like, Konami could have a Philosopher's Stone in the vault that just makes gold out of nothing. And they just don't want to use it. They just don't want to use it. Final Fantasy Tactics or Castlevania Minute 1? Both. If I had to choose between the two, Final Fantasy Tactics. To completion. Because Castlevania will be there. Konami had their chance. They had their chance to remaster Castlevania for about 10 years now. And they blew it. You lost me, honey. You lost me, honey. Lost me, girl. You lost me, Konami. But no, Tactics. Minute 1. Faux show. Resistance Fall of Man. I never played it. I'll be honest, I never played it. And I didn't know anybody that did play it. I know wasn't that a PS3 launch title? I do remember that. I think it was a PS3 launch title. Dark Cloud remaster would be great. And make it so that people with vertigo can play it. Because I remember the camera in that game, when you start building and rebuilding towns and stuff, something about the frame rate when you're spinning that camera, I would get so motion sick playing that game. And nobody else I knew, nobody else I knew had that problem. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, when you start building the towns up and you're spinning your camera around, you're running around, I would get so motion sick. I loved Dark Cloud, but I could not finish it because I got sick. Re-release Lost Odyssey? Yes. Look, I remember the marketing campaign for Lost Odyssey. I thought it was amazing. It was the first time I had heard like a mainstream song used in a game commercial. It was Mamas and Papas. And I can't remember the name of the song. It was like an old 60s song about war or something like that. Like they all were, you know. But yeah, it was, I remember the marketing campaign for that game was off the charts. And I think that was when I was in school for graphic design and marketing, I think. But yeah, so look, Xbox is sitting on some titles that if they would just make them, I would buy an Xbox. I'm not a PC guy. I run Mac because I have animation and design and art stuff I have to do. But and as a gamer, that is a foot in the ditch basically because it's not great for gaming. But I would buy an Xbox if they would get off their ass with Fable. If they would get off their ass with, well, it doesn't matter now because they're going to be putting things on everything, right? So, yeah, I mean, if they put out like a new Fable game, who's to say it's not going to be on PS5? If they ever get this Fable game done. TGS, yeah, they might have something at TGS. I'm not out on them having some remake Part 3 stuff at Summer Games Fest. I don't think it's going to be at State of Play. I don't. I think the big send-off for State of Play is going to be Resident Evil 9. But I could definitely see Summer Games Fest having some kind of like title reveal trailer. Just a short little thing. Last Remnant. Last Remnant was good, man. Last Remnant was good. Was really good. That was a slept-on title. 360 had some good RPGs, and people forget because RPGs, I mean, 360 had some great run and guns and some great beat-em-ups, but like, and the Naruto games on 360 were killer because you actually use the analog sticks to do your little jutsus and stuff. I hated that the games after that one on 360 didn't have that. Hated that. That game was good. 360 was killer. 360 won that generation. The PS3 and what was it, the Wii? 360 crushed that generation. Well, I think they know that people will still buy a 360, so why not put it out if people are going to buy it at like a 270 or 275% markup for what it costs? I mean, I'd be selling them too. A whole Fable series remaster for PS5. In the words of the Joker, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Could I honestly picture them announcing all that this weekend? No, because I think from their perspective, they say Final Fantasy Tactics, it's going to be one of those things like, you know, when sometimes you're watching a Nintendo Direct and it pops in, the voice goes, hey, now coming this summer, get ready. And it's like a little 30-second spot. It's like, coming for the Nintendo Switch this fall, you know. That's what the Tactics reveal is going to be. I don't think it's going to be anything major. I think it's going to not be an afterthought, but I also don't think it's going to be a massive production. Final Fantasy VII Part 3, Final Fantasy VII Redemption, would be a massive production. So, a tentpole piece, if you will. Me, and all of you like me, Final Fantasy Tactics is a tentpole. It is a tentpole. It is a staple of how you do that game. That and Tactics Ogre are the two best tactics games ever made. I'll hear no arguments. I'll see no defenses. I'm one-shotting all of your defenses on that. One-shotting them. Like, it's just, that is it. And the thing for me that puts Tactics above Tactics Ogre is the story and the characters. The intrigue, the espionage, all that kind of stuff. And it feels like that is the best game they've ever set in Ivalice. That's the best game that's ever been set in Ivalice. I think we've had 4 games if you count online stuff. Anyway, getting off track. But no, I could not see them doing all of those because Final Fantasy IX Remake, I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening at Summer Games Fest. It'd be cool if it did, because I really want you Final Fantasy IX fans to get a win. And that game is happening. But again, it's like, I think Square Enix has a lot of things in the can that they're just sitting on. I really do. Now, we could see something for 9 at TGS, but again, Final Fantasy IX, that's a main numbered Final Fantasy. If they're doing a remake of it, we might have to wait until we're on the other side of Final Fantasy VII, like, remake saga. We might have to wait till we're on the other side of that. Because I don't think they want to take any steam away from the remake saga. And that would give them time. Like, look at it from Square Enix's perspective, right? So, if you're working on Final Fantasy IX Remake, and that thing's almost done, then you're still trying to push through and get the remake saga done and out. You don't have to rush an announcement. You don't, because those fans are still going to be there when Remake is done. Remake Saga ends, the following Summer Games Fest, or do a State of Play a few months after the last Remake Saga game has come out, Redemption. Then you drop the trailer for Final Fantasy IX, which, by the way, might be done at that point. And you can say, pre-orders going live today. You know, this is dropping in the spring. You know, it's a massive remake of the beloved Final Fantasy IX with Zidane and Vivi and Steiner and Garnet and all your friends, you know. Take on the evil Kuja, yada, 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 you know. And the game's done, like, at that point. It's tested, it's polished, they can just sit on it. Final Fantasy, the thing I was going to cover in a separate video, but I'll cover now for you all, is the fact that Final Fantasy VII Remake Saga is also working as a buffer for Square Enix. It's giving them time to work on other projects, get those really far along, and by the time the Remake Saga is finished, they've got, like, who knows how much ammo in the chamber to just release if they want to. Remember what it was like leading up to Rebirth? You were getting bad games from Square Enix. they were putting out bad games because these were games that were being developed at the same time they were trying to figure out Final Fantasy VII Remake. So about a year or two after Remake, when we were waiting for Rebirth, these games were coming out that we were getting excited about, but they just weren't good. At the end of the day, they weren't good. What was the one? Crap. I've already forgotten it. Anyway, I can't even remember. It was Valkyrie. Was it Valkyria or Valkyrie Profile or Valkyrie Chronicles or something like that? Chat, you'll remind me what that game was. I was excited to play that because the PS2 Valkyrie games were great. Great. That game wasn't bad, but it was just okay. It was just okay. And I thought that game was going to be really great. So now, you've not seen a whole lot coming out from Square Enix, but what are they doing? What are they doing? Let's do the roll call. Final Fantasy IX Remake. Kingdom Hearts 4. We haven't seen much for Kingdom Hearts 4. And that might be another one where they just wait until they're on the other side of the remake saga and they come out for all you Kingdom Hearts fans and say, hey, state of play, Square Enix has something. You enjoyed the remake saga. Thank you all for being there. Thank you all so much for enjoying the remake saga. Now we got like another classic franchise that we're bringing you the newest installment of, and boom, Kingdom Hearts 4. Oh, by the way, it's done. Thank you, Final Fantasy VII Remake Saga. While that team and much of the creative team at Square was working on this, we were working on these games and figuring out what our new workflow is. Look, Remake, Final Fantasy VII is saving Square again in a different way than it saved it in 1997, because it's giving them it. So you've got Rebirth and Redemption. I know that pisses people off when I just say, hey, it's going to be called this. I think that's kind of why I do it. I got a little bit of an anarchist in me a little bit. Like, I got a little bit of a wild side in me, you know. I like to push buttons sometimes. Anyway, what those two games are doing is giving Square Enix time to work on other things and not feel the pressure to show people stuff all the time, to get it out by a certain date. Because, like, look, from us, the world is waiting on us to finish Remake Saga. That's coming, 2027, whatever it's going to be. That's their deadline to know that, okay, once this game's out, the next quarter, we got to start showing other stuff. No, it's not, Justin. It's going to be called Redemption. Don't you put that juju in my chat. Don't you put that bad juju in my chat. It'll probably be called Restore. Reclaim. Refund. Reanimation. Ricola. No. Final Fantasy VII. Ricola. Anyway. But yeah, that's just a thought that I have. I don't know if you all have thought about that or not. But like, yeah, I think that Final Fantasy VII is saving them in a different way. It's giving them time. Valkyrie Elysium. Thank you, Shin Abomination. Thank you very much. It's given them time to work on these other games without feeling the pressure to get something in front of us all the time. Because, trust me, as someone who worked on something people were waiting to see and still waiting to see and everything, there's a lot of pressure to show people stuff periodically. Hey, this is happening. Hey, this is happening. I can't even imagine what it's like on a level of Square Enix working with like multi-$100 million budgets and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I think we're going to see a lot of games announced and coming out soon after the announcements after the remake saga is over. I think Final Fantasy IX Remake is in that. I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is in that. I think Final Fantasy 17 is in that. I could see Final Fantasy 17 dropping around 2029 or whatever that's going to be. I don't even know if they're start working on it, but I could see that being the case. There are other games like Dragon Quest 12. I've heard rumblings that they want to remaster all of the I almost said Dragon Warrior. Got a little gray. I still call it Dragon Warrior, okay? Dragon Quest, I've heard rumblings that they want to remaster all of those. All of them. Because it does so well in Japan. And it's doing better in the States and worldwide, but it does really well in Japan. No, Final Fantasy IX wouldn't have to be 2 or 3 parts. No, I don't think that's the case. Especially if you're developing it for the PS5 Pro. Remember, they started developing Remake for PS4. PlayStation 4. So, yeah, it's a whole world of possibilities if you're developing for the next jump up. And I think they've started developing the 9 Remake for PS5 and current gen consoles. Yeah, no, yeah, Remake Saga, I could see them doing like Nier, right? Like that was an ongoing story, right? And they have other stories that could be like open-ended ongoing stories. Like Final Fantasy, every game has its own encapsulated story, but they could, and I wish they would. Well, Kingdom Hearts is like that, right? It's just the next game is the next game, right? I haven't played 1 since 2, but 3 was the next game. 4 will be the next game. You know, all this other stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, Dragon Quest 3 Remake sold like gangbusters. Did very well for Square Enix. Unreal. No, I haven't watched it yet. But I did see the Witcher stuff from it, and it looks great. Looks great. That's what I'm holding out hope for right there, Darth Magus. I would love a Dragon Quest 8 remaster. I think 7 and 8 are my 2 favorite Dragon Quest games. Like, a lot of people didn't play 7 because on PS1, and it wasn't big or really well known over here at the time like it is now. Like, Dragon Quest 8 on PS2 put that series on the map in the States. But I really enjoyed my time with 7. I loved 8. I tried to play 11, but when I was playing 11, there was a lot going on. I couldn't put as much time into it as I wanted to. I loved the game. I loved the characters. I loved the feel and the vibe of it. I just couldn't stick with it because of external factors. Not anything to do with the game itself. Just external factors kept me from playing it and enjoying it. Vagrant Story Remaster announced tomorrow. No, but I bet that's in the pipeline after Clair Obscur. Like, that was one that as I'm currently playing through Clair Obscur, I went in stream and I was like, yo, look, Square Enix needs to do a Vagrant Story remake. Like, just do it like this. Just do it like this. 8, I would like to see a lot more. I would like to see some hunts and like some like side quests and things added to 8. I think that would really kind of help buff your time with it. I'm totally not out on a Final Fantasy VIII remake because, you know, when Final Fantasy VIII dropped back in the day, I always said the only thing wrong with this game is it followed 7. The only thing wrong with this game is it came after 7. But as I tried to play the remaster back in 2019, it came out in 18, I think, but I didn't get to play it till 19. They're like, I don't know, the battle system is kind of clunky. I like the draw system. I think there's good stuff there, but I think it needs more refinement. If you remade Final Fantasy VIII, you could refine a lot of that stuff. And people dog me for this a lot. They dog me for this a lot. But Final Fantasy VIII was written at a time when those teen TV show dramas and stuff like that were huge. Like Dawson's Creek and shit like that was huge. And I'll go to the end of my streaming days confessing that I think that stuff had an influence on how they wrote that story, because there were parts of that story that were just flat. Like, if you weren't into a character it was focusing on, that part of the story was just flat. That's what other Square Enix games do so well. The overarching story will carry you through character bits of characters you don't enjoy as much, because you're so invested in what's going on with the world and the story. By the time I got to the end of 8, I was like, what the heck? Like, I don't even care. I didn't care. So remake Final Fantasy 8. Give it a battle upgrade and all that kind of stuff. The music in Final Fantasy 8 is gorgeous. I love Final Fantasy. Liberty Fatale is like one of the most ambitious pieces of music ever in a Final Fantasy game. Banger of an opening. Banger of an opening. Thought I was in for a ride. If you ever been to Kings Island in Cincinnati, I thought I was about to ride the friggin' Vortex, and I was on the Kitty Racers. I thought I was about to get on the Vortex, go upside down, puking. Puke hit me in the face on the way down that I just spat out. No, I was on the Kitty Racers. That was it. They didn't even go backwards. It was just forwards. That was it. That was Final Fantasy VIII to me. Best card game in all of Final Fantasy, though, is... Well, until Queen's Blood. Until Queen's Blood was the card game Triple Triad. Limit Break System's okay. And that's the other thing that drives me crazy about Final Fantasy VIII, is the UI is so ugly. The UI is so, just those gray boxes, it's so ugly. Ugly. You can't defend the UI, the little gray boxes that pop up. It's almost like they forgot to code in the UI textures. That's what it always felt like to me. Queen's Blood is great, but until Queen's Blood came out, Final Fantasy VIII was the card game. In Queen's Blood. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got this side note. I've got this Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering collector's card set reserved. And I don't know if I should buy it because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. My God, I saw how much it was. I just went to the card shop, local card shop, and I was like, yeah, I'll reserve it. They didn't have a price on it yet. They said it's going to be expensive, but, you know, we're going to adjust our price when it comes in. I was like, okay, bet. I was thinking maybe $150, $200. I don't buy collector's stuff. I was like, I want to get this because I like having cards in a binder and stuff like that. I don't play them. $700 for a 12-pack booster set? Hell no. Hell no. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I started thinking about Final Fantasy cards, and I was like, oh, yeah. It's the collector's 12 booster pack box. And, that shop have Wild Arms too? No. This is a different shop than the one I was talking about the other day that had that. It was Wild Arms 4. It was Wild Arms 4 on PS2. This is a different shop. But yeah, oh my God, I looked it up on TCG today to see what it was trending at. Oh my God, I was heartbroken. I was like, I'm just not gonna have it. You're going to see all the other major YouTubers and stuff come on X and be like, oh, thank you so much to Magic or Wizard or whoever is sending me this card set. I love it so much. I was like, yeah. The rich get richer. Enjoy it. Enjoy that. Oh, man, thank you so much. They sent me the thing. Oh, thank you so much, guys. It's so hard. I'm going without so much. Oh, man, I can barely feed myself. Nah, man. You're getting sent $1,000 gift sets every fucking weekend. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I love these people. I do. But when I've got to go cancel the $700 set and they just get one for free in the mail, I'm going to be like, you know what? And some of them I know personally, so I'm just going to send them a picture of me going. I'm like. It's a lot of cheddar. But yeah, so I can't. I can't with that. But it's birthday celebration weekend here at my house. It's my wife's birthday. It's my son's birthday. And if I were to walk in with no presents but 12 packages, 12 booster packs of Final Fantasy, it's like, don't look what I got over here. I can't go down like that. So yeah, that's too much. That's too much. Now what I will do is I'll buy some Commander sets and stuff later on this summer, because those are going to be out. Those are going to be out, you know. But this collector's set, like, you can't get it unless you pre-order it, apparently, which means it will be available 1 hour later on eBay for $5,000 each. Because some eBay goon is going to go into a card shop and they're going to buy, they're going to hit different card shops in their area, and they're going to come away with like 20 that day. 20. They're going to come out with something like $15,000 worth of, you know, collectible sets, and they're going to sell them each on eBay for $5,000. And you know what? They're going to go just like that. They're going to go just like that. Yeah. They're going to sell individual packs, but not the collector's packs. You can only get those if you pre-order it. Thank you, Colin. I appreciate that. Yeah, my little man's going to be 8 this weekend. It's my wife's birthday as well. I call it Summer Celebration Extravaganza. It starts with Mother's Day, and then it goes into the birthdays, and then me and Connor usually do something special for Father's Day, and then there's a couple of other things we got going on toward the end of June. I'll be on the road doing shows. If you're going to be in Indianapolis, Indiana, for PopCon Indy, I will be there. I will be at PopCon Indy this year. And some other shows. I think I'm at Cincinnati in October. October's my birthday. But yeah, so we roll through the whole summer celebration season all the way to July 4th. And then we get a chance to catch our breath. But yeah, it's a tight couple of months around here. We'll put it that way. Oh, Colin, you got a little 2-year-old. Well, time does fly, my friend. Time does fly. So happy birthday. Happy birthday to the little one. Your dad's birthday is on Father's Day? That's wild. Happy birthday to your dad, Angel. Square Enix about to make bank. Well, I don't know how much they're making on the cards. Look, there's only a couple of cards I want out of that set. Whatever Yoshitaka Amano made, and I would love to have that Sephiroth card, or the 2 or 3 cards that make Sephiroth. But I mean, I think those are only available in the collector's pack, so I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen, man. But anyway, back to the releases. So, Resident Evil 9. Little to nothing is known about this game. You're welcome. You're welcome. Happy spread the good vibes. The birthday is a celebration of life. Always celebrate. Always celebrate the life of the people you care about. Always celebrate them. Every day. Resident Evil 9. We know little to nothing about Resident Evil 9. I've seen a lot of rumors. Yeah, Orly, I absolutely agree. Better to buy the individual cards, for sure. I got a story about that in just a second. I'll make this point. I'll come back to it. Oh, Amano. Oh, that's right. I have seen that card. Holy shit. Yes. Yes. I saw Jeff Grubb tease that. And a couple of people went at him on there. Like, are we, like... A couple of people that follow me, one person that follows me, I saw that he had went at him and said, are we just... like spoiling shows now openly? Is that what we're doing? I was like, what he said. What he said. A Metroidvania God of War, sign me up, man. Sign me up. Pre-God of War Kratos, pre-God Kratos. But Resident Evil 9, I've seen a lot of rumors. I know nothing about this. I've been radio silent because when it comes to the Resident Evil stuff, those are such short games. I don't want to know anything. I want to go blind. Like Square Enix stuff, you know you're going to get 30 to 50 hours out of it. I can do some digging. I'm not going to figure everything out until I play the game. I mean, so Resident Evil 9 could be anything, man. Leaks haven't gotten to that, which is exciting. Yes, exactly. I've heard it's going to be Jill's game. I've heard it's going to be Leon's game. I've heard it's going to be another Winters family game. I'm like, man, let's get to third person. I don't need psychic powers in Resident Evil. I don't need any kind of weird magic in Resident Evil. I want it to be alone at the end of a hallway in a room with a chair barricaded under the door, hearing the things scratching around outside, and counting your 3 or 4 bullets and trying to figure out if you can make it out of this place. That's what I want Resident Evil to be. Claire would be great. The thing about Claire, though, is they kind of sidelined her into being like a office kind of person, you know. But she was really good in Revelations 2, and Revelations 2 is a banger. And the fact that they brought Claire and Barry together in Revelations 2, and it exposed a lot of lore that these characters all know each other. Like these Raccoon City survivors, even though they haven't been in games together, they all know each other. I liked that in Revelations. That was the revelation for me in Revelations 2. But Jill is my favorite Resident Evil character by far. I didn't like Resident Evil 3 Remake very much. It was okay, but starring my favorite Resident Evil character, I thought it would push that game up my list, and it didn't do anything for me. But she's my favorite character. I hope it's Jill. I do. I would like to see what older Jill is like, character-wise. The thing I didn't like about Jill's characterization in Resident Evil 3 Remake was Jill is always like, how do I say this? Like, she's not edgy. Like, she's in control. She's not like, fuck, like all the time, you know? Someone who's not in control acts like that. She has seen these things. She has fought these things. She has survived these things. She is prepared for this. She's paramilitary. She is absolutely prepared for this. And the old Resident Evil things that she was in, that's how she came across. And that's what I loved about her. I thought she was just in control. Chris would fly off the handle at times. Wesker, horrible dude. Barry, you never knew which angle he was coming from. Jill was right down the middle. You never... And Rebecca too, but Jill could get shit done. Like in a way that Rebecca couldn't. So I always thought Jill was super dope. My favorite Resident Evil character. But I think she kind of got done dirty by not getting enough game time, you know. So I hope they fix that in 9. Yeah, Capcom didn't directly make Resident Evil 3 Remake. That was outsourced. Yeah, she has an incredible character arc. Like, I think if you make her the main character of Resident Evil 9, and we'll have some answers after tomorrow, I believe. I think we'll have some answers after tomorrow. But if you make her the main character of Resident Evil 9, you could go into her backstory stuff. I loved her story in Resident Evil 5. I thought it was so good. Like, she was captured by Wesker. Like, they made it look like she died, but to save Chris, that's who she is. Like, she is like the person who will show up and try to save people. She's not going to try to brute force save people. She's going to try to think how to save people. You know, get shit done. Master of unlocking. And then in Resident Evil 5, when she showed up as the blonde, like, controlled Jill, I was like my heart sank. I was like, no. Like, I was relieved because she obviously wasn't dead. And I was like, but is she like a nemesis? My first thought in Resident Evil 5 was like, oh my god, they're going to make her like a nemesis. Like, they're going to tie it in some way, like she had some kind of contact with Nemesis, and now she can take on that genome. Luckily, that's not what they did. And you totally saved Jill. But yeah, so she's my favorite character. I want to see Resident Evil 9. I want to see what it is. What I want to see, if they show it tomorrow, I want to see what it plays like, what it looks like. I think Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 4 Remake has reestablished the standard for Resident Evil. Third person, attaché case for your stuff. I mean, it's a perfect setup. I just do more of that. Just tweak it. You know, just do more of that. Tweak it. I want to see what they do. I want to see what the vibe is. Who the characters are, what the angle is, how the gameplay. And do we finally get the answer to whether or not Wesker is really dead? Not like OG Wesker, who died in a volcano. That dude is dead. But some kind of Wesker clone, which, you know, I liked the Resident Evil series with the actor, forgive me, I can't remember his name, who passed away. But he was the Black Wesker. And I thought that was a cool take, because it was this idea that Wesker could, like, transpose himself into other bodies. Like, he had found a way to, like, some real Fear Factory shit, right? Like Digimortal. Like, he had found a way to upload himself into other clones or something like that. He totally looked like Blade when he went full Wesker in that. But Lance Riddick, man, he was good. He was good. I loved the flip in his character. He was such a great actor. Had such a killer voice. And Colin, exactly. That's the points I was about to make. Yeah, great points. But yeah, I enjoyed that series. I thought what they were trying to do, and it's really just a bummer that they won't continue it, but I think what they were trying to do and what they were trying to say, kind of about the air, it was less about just horror apocalypse stuff, and it was more about the arrogance of humanity. And I really loved the play they were going for in that. And kind of like how Wesker had kind of become immortal. Like the essence of him, your soul, whatever you want to call it, whatever part of your mind you could, you know, transpose into another body, you know. I really thought that's the direction they were going. Like, fully gonna go there. And now we'll never know. That's unfortunate. But will we see a new Wesker? Hear that iconic voice. I can't do it. I can't do his voice. I'd just sound silly if I tried. But you know I'm on that. Iconic voice coming through. Maybe out of another body. Maybe out of one that looks just like Wesker. He's got Wesker clones. I mean, Wesker's a great villain. The first band I was ever in was called Wesker. We never played a show, but we played in the garage a whole lot. But yeah, like, I'm interested to see what's up. Who do we see? Do we see Billy in this game? I think we're going to see Rebecca Chambers. It's going to be... So... It's going to be the B... Is it BASAA? BSAA? BFSAA? So we're going to see that organization. It's going to be about that. And whatever the hell they were trying to accomplish at the end of Resident Evil 8. I think that's what we're going to see. How much of that we see in this game, I don't know. But it's powering through a professional. BSAA, thank you. I knew I was butchering that. I think we're going to see Billy. I think Carlos is done. I think Carlos might be done. He was a part of Umbrella. So we know what his role is or whatever. I mean, we could. You never know who they're going to pull out of the hat. But I want Jill to be the main character. Exactly, Angel. Yeah, I was trying to think of his sister's name. But yeah, so, and she was the villain in Revelations 2. She was a great villain. So, I like what they're doing with the Resident Evil franchise. I like they're moving it into kind of these other ways because science evolves, right? Back in the day, magic was called magic, and now it's called science. So all this otherworldly stuff we think of now is like, you know, somebody jumping into another body after death and all this other kind of stuff, you know. That's all mysticism now, but someday it's going to be science. That's going to be a wild day, but someday it's going to be science. His stupid son's body. That's the thing I didn't like. It was Jake, right? That was his son's name. That's the part about 6 that I disliked the most. Was him and Sherry Birkin's storyline. And I always wanted to catch back up with Sherry Birkin because I knew through lore and stuff like that she was still out there. But, you know, we never figured out where she was, what her role was, what she was doing, if she was being dissected on a table somewhere, if she was in a prison, if she was at college. I mean, we didn't know. We just didn't know. So, yeah, so we'll see. Where's Barry? He's in Revelations 2. Chasing after his wayward daughter, who finds herself on shady Umbrella Prison compound islands and stuff like that. I would still hold out hope for a Code Veronica remake. You all know my thoughts on that, but I had a feeling we were going to get Resident Evil 9 next, the numbered Resident Evil next, because it goes remake, numbered. That seems to be what they like to do. So 6 needs a full remake with a coherent story. No, 6 just needs a coffin and a very, very deep hole. We've been there, done that. Resident Evil 6 is 3 different games. It's 3 different games. They tried to go really big. The problem with going really big like that was it was on PS3. You were locked into the confines, the shackles of what that console could do, right? How big could you make your game and all that kind of stuff. Also, you go worldwide outbreak. Worldwide outbreak for this thing that there's almost like, yeah, Piers got done dirty. You're absolutely right. Probably best character in the game. The thing I liked about 6 was you finally got to see some of these characters face to face. Like, how long have we waited to see Leon and Chris face to face in a game? You know, I think the Resident Evil movie they were in was after that, if I'm not mistaken. But oh yeah, I think it was definitely after that. But that was pretty much it. Like the opening, where you're playing as Leon and you're going into, I forgot what the structure was. There was like an army of zombies outside, and you go inside, and there's not a whole lot of things in there, and you're going into like that auditorium area. That vibe had a lot going for it, but I could not get away from Leon's hair. It looked like Jell-O pudding. It was clumpy. It was weird looking. I'm like, no, just stop trying to make it move. If you can't make it look good, just make it stationary on his head. I don't need to see the gelatin hair, you know. And it just went downhill from there for me. It was like wave after wave of enemies. I was like, this is not Resident Evil. Like, I got about, I think I did. I beat the game. But God, it took me 2 months to beat that game. I just could not play it. It was unplayable. It was terrible. Terrible. Could not play it. Hated that game. Physically getting on edge. Yeah, the movies. No, I'm not talking about the Paul W.S. Anderson movies. I'm talking about the Capcom movies. The Capcom movies are just a step above the first, I almost said Wes Anderson. Paul W.S. Anderson. His first movie was okay. Just okay. And they got progressively worse after that. There was one part, I'll take it back. There was one part in Resident Evil Apocalypse. One part where Jill Valentine and Sienna Gilroy played an excellent Jill Valentine. Excellent Jill Valentine. She was in the church. She was coming down a hallway. And she had the gun out. And the camera was panning up from behind her from about 15 feet away. And you could see down the hallway. And it looked like a fixed camera angle in one of the games. And the way she was walking, the way she had her gun cocked and everything, you could tell she played the game to study the character. She looked just like Jill walking down a hallway. And I was like, okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get Resident Evil now. And then you got Ninja Turtle Nemesis, 90s Ninja Turtle movie Nemesis. Looked like Leonardo from the 91 TMNT movie, like all burned up and deformed, you know. There was one shot where you could even see like the slit back here in the back of the stuntman's helmet into the suit, like it wasn't attached properly. It was like, I was like, when is Mystery Science Theater going to get a hold of this movie? Just let me know when MST3K Riff Tracks is going to get a hold of this movie. That's all I need to know. But yeah, so that was the one redeeming part of that movie that I enjoyed. Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird time. Like I guess they thought he'd be comedy relief or something like that. He had a couple of funny lines, but that wasn't the movie. That felt like a studio decision. You could put him in there as one of the paramilitary guys in Resident Evil 3 that play a big role, you know? Inevitably die, but you don't need a clown shoe in there. Anyway, so we could talk about that all day, but and I haven't liked any of the live action movies. Welcome to Raccoon City. I haven't liked any of them. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So yeah, I'm excited about Resident Evil 9. But I'm really intrigued by Ghost of Yotei. And here's why. Ghost of Tsushima, for me, gave Final Fantasy VII Remake a run for its money in 2020. Run for its money. That game is beautiful, plays well, does everything I want in a game like that. An open worldish type game. Run around, kill things, do quests, collect stuff, upgrade things. Just give me that. That's all I need. In an intriguing story, good characters. Jean's uncle in that game I thought was such a good character. So I know they can write. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very much so. Very heartbreaking. So you know they can write. So I'm interested to see exactly what this story is and how they pull off the characters. So, excuse me. Oh my goodness. That came out of nowhere. You know they can pull it off. They've got the chops. I want to see more. I want to see more of this now. Also, we're going to be seeing Death Stranding 2 at the game. I don't think we'll see it tomorrow because, you know, Jeff Keighley is boys with Hideo Kojima. And you know they're going to plan something big for that. And we're probably going to see something else for this horror game he's working on. But that game, I don't know. I don't know if I'm even looking forward to that, honestly. Because all he's doing, every time they show something, is trotting out Hollywood people. Look at this director. Look at this actor. And we got... I'm like, just show me the game. Just show me the goddamn game. I don't care what Hollywood people you've got in it or attached to it or whatever. I don't care. I just want to see the fucking game. Because a Hideo Kojima horror game, any other year of my life, I'd be like, sign me all the way up. Now I'm just like, he just wants to make a movie. I get it, but so I just want to see what it is. Death Stranding, like the middle 5 hours of that game is a slog, but worth it in the end. It's worth it. I just want more Mads Mikkelsen. That's what I want. I want more Mads Mikkelsen in everything. In everything. Like, they really... Like, I think about the Thor movies a lot. I'm like, man, they really missed the boat not making Mads Mikkelsen Odin. He's played Odin in an old indie movie called Valhalla Rising that not a lot of people watched, but was great. Exactly, Chris. That's the point I made a few weeks ago. Hollywood needs the video game awards. Video game awards don't need Hollywood. The games are the stars now. The voice actors. Like, I do a lot of these comic book conventions. Sometimes I'm a guest, sometimes I just pay for a table and go and promote ARAURA and stuff like that. But more and more, like, these comic book conventions, they're not trying to bring in, like, the ones that are savvy and the ones that do a big gate. They're trying to bring in more and more voice actors, more and more video game and anime voice actors, because that's what gets people in the door. It really is. Now, people, of course, want to meet your Marvel stars, your Star Wars stars, and all that kind of stuff. But it's never the big. It's never like Thor and Captain America that are there. It's always like this Hydra agent that got killed in the car chase or some stuff like that. Which, that's cool or whatever, you know. But, you know, it's hardly ever like a big thing. So a lot of these conventions, like, hey, we can get the star of this video game. We can get the top star of this anime. And people will come in as fast for that as they will for these Hollywood people. And the tide is turning. I mean, I see it. When I go to these shows, I see it. Like the last show I did, I was a guest. And it was tons of voice actors, game artists, all that kind of stuff. You do a lot of networking at these things too. That's how I've gotten to know a lot of, like, some of the people I talk to or whatever. But yeah, like, yeah, Game Awards don't need Hollywood. Hollywood needs the Game Awards for sure. Just realized I've been listening to Antidote for like over an hour. But yeah, like, so State of Play should be really interesting tomorrow. I don't know what else we're gonna see. Like I said, I don't think Final Fantasy Tactics, I don't think it's gonna be a massive announcement. Even though if it were me, it would be closing the show. I think whatever the Resident Evil game is going to be, if it's 9, if it's a remake, I think that's going to close the show. I think Ghost of Yotei, whatever. I don't know. Just give me some more remasters, you know. We might see that. I was gonna say, I took it back, but I'm just gonna say it. We might see that Black Flag remaster. Might see that Black Flag remaster, something from it tomorrow, or at the Game Awards. I mean, the Summer Games Fest. But anyway, what do you all think? I am going to take a quick break. I'll be back in just a few minutes. And actually, let me see here. Boom. I am going to start a conversation starter here. What do you think will be a big surprise? A big pizza pie. What do you think will be a big surprise? Surprise, if I can spell. At State of Play tomorrow. There. I'm going to leave y'all with that for a second, and I'll be right back. Another thing that I was thinking about, as far as like games, I'm not like really, they aren't really on my radar, but we could see tomorrow because there's going to be a lot of that. I think PSVR will have it usually gets its segment, you know, and then it's kind of like, that's kind of like the piss break, right? PSVR is like on screen doing its thing for 60 seconds or the 90 to 120 seconds or whatever it is. Then it's like, go take a piss, get something to drink, you know, whatever. But that aside, I think we'll probably see something for that new Naughty Dog Intergalactic game, because I know they're going to push that hard. It's probably not close to ready yet, but they could have like a release window ready, so we'll see. Star Wars Eclipse, that's another one I kind of gave up on, because we haven't seen anything for so long. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen or heard. I haven't even seen it mentioned by anybody. Like, nobody's even like, hey, what's going on with Star Wars Eclipse? Like, it's like nobody cares. Like, that's another thing too. I saw someone the other day reference that they thought like Star Wars was like just a totally dead franchise. This is news to me. I didn't know that was a take. I didn't know that was a take. I haven't kept up with Star Wars in a long time, but I've enjoyed The Mandalorian and whatnot. I did not see the more recent show, but yeah. So when it comes to the Star Wars games, I know people didn't care much for Outlaws. Didn't play it. And when I was younger, I was a huge Star Wars fan. I think other things came along, like that, I don't know, made me just like other things more or whatever. So oh, that's a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah, I know there's been Star Wars games, but I don't think they've been very well received from what I understand. But anyway, I don't want to get off on a negative thing. I'm not even negative about it. I'm indifferent. I just didn't realize that people viewed it that way. Jedi Survivor is cool. That was going to be my counterpoint to that. It's like, Jedi Survivor is super cool. That's a great game. And yeah, but as far as like Star Wars games, I don't know. But I think we'll see something for Intergalactic. Final Death Stranding trailer. Do we finally see gameplay from Wolverine? Zach, I know you've been talking about Pragmata a lot, and I think I said in the stream, I was like, I don't really know much about that game, to be honest, because there's other stuff I've been focusing on, but I've not really like looked into it or seen anything for it, or you know, what have you. But yeah, tomorrow's gonna be wild. I guess I'm gonna wrap it up, the discussion for the night. Tomorrow's gonna be wild. Now, my son has a martial arts testing tomorrow at 6 o'clock, so we're actually gonna be driving there at 5:30. So I won't be able to watch it live. I know. But as soon as we get back from his test, I've already told my wife I'm coming into the studio. I'm getting set up, settled in. I'm going to pull it up. No spoilers. I'm not even taking my phone. Like, I'm going to take my phone, but I'm not going to have it on. Just gonna take it to video my son doing his belt testing. But so I'll be back. I'll be jumping in. It'll probably be around 6:30 probably, but I'm gonna jump on, I'm gonna boot it up, and I'm gonna come on live, and it's gonna be my first experience watching everything. So if y'all want to watch it with me again for the first time, you will have all watched it by that point. I'm probably not going to look at chat when I'm watching it, because somebody will bounce in and try to spoil some stuff or whatever. So I'm not going to look at chat when I'm watching it. But once it's over, I will go through and read all the chat again. Or you can just reach at it when we're done watching it. The cool thing about doing it that way, What time Australia? I'm not sure. It's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the States. I won't be able to come on and watch it until about 6:30, maybe even 7, depending on how long the belt testing runs. So, but I will tweet and you'll get the notification. Make sure you got the bell clicked so you know when I'm going live for sure. But you'll get the notification when I'm going live. I'm going to give it like 5 minutes. I usually let the stream run for 15 minutes before I come on each night because I like to let people get their notifications and come on or whatever, come hang out. I'll give it about 5 minutes tomorrow night and then I'm going to be on and getting in there and getting to it. Checking it out. The cool thing about doing it that way is if there's crap, I can kind of fast forward through it. Like I can arrow 15 seconds this way or that way and just get through it quicker. But because I would probably edit that out anyway. But yeah, I will be on tomorrow night, and then after we stream we'll talk about it a little bit. I'll jump off, and then about 10 o'clock tomorrow night I'll come back on for my regular nightly stream. We'll talk more about stuff, anything that's kind of shook out after that. And also for those of you that have been watching me play the Clair Obscur playthrough, the next stream that I do Clair Obscur, which it might not be until Thursday night, but because there's going to be a lot to talk about tomorrow night, and we'll come on and talk about it. But the next stream, I'm going to finish up the little character side quests, and then we're just going to go beat the game. Because a good friend of mine messaged me. He's like, yo, I was at 80 and I one-shotted the last boss, so be warned. Because he knows I grind. He's like, if you're grinding, be warned. If you don't want to one-shot the boss. I was like, I don't care. I'm just here for the story. But I have seen some of you tell me that you can beat the boss and miss some things. I don't want to do that. So we are going to go beat the game after we do the character side quests. Just going to go beat it. And then after that, I'll do my final thoughts. I'll do a review. Of course, we'll do it live stream. You all know. I'll do my final thoughts as soon as I beat it. My initial thoughts. And then I'll come on the night after that and I'll do my review of the game. Which, spoiler alert, unless it completely shits the bed, it's going to be like an amazing review. Unless it completely just shits the bed at the end of the game, it's going to be an amazing review. So that'll probably be Friday night. So anyway, be looking forward to that, and I'm gonna hop off here. Hey, the credits theme for Final Fantasy Tactics is rolling. How fitting. How fitting. Unless Final Fantasy Tactics is shadow dropped at State of Play tomorrow, in which case Clair Obscurs is gonna have to wait. I'm jumping into Tactics. I'm sorry. It's just I might have to do a dual stream one day just to finish up Clair Obscur and enjoy that, and then jump right back into Tactics. But yeah, it's there it is. So anyway, you all have a great night. Get excited. It is time to rock. It's like I said on X earlier today. If you're not following me on X, make sure you follow me on X. Follow me on Discord. Come join the Discord as well. We're having lots of great conversations over there about stuff. Should be in the link will be in the description for this video and all of my videos. So just check that out. But yeah, come join Discord, hang out with us over there. We're having a good time. We're playing some stuff. So I am streaming that. Yes, I will be streaming Summer Games Fest at 5 p.m. You bet your ass. Yes, that is happening live. On time. So we're going to be doing that for sure. So until tomorrow night, y'all have a great night. Be safe, be good to each other. Keep rocking. And I will catch you all in the next live stream or video. You never know. I almost shot 2 videos today and then all this stuff started popping off and I was on my phone reading stuff all day and talking to people. It's like, oh man, where'd you hear that? Oh my God, is that happening? You know? So yeah, it was like Wall Street in here today. It was crazy. So anyway, take care. I'll catch y'all tomorrow night. Until then, be good, be well. Be good to somebody. And somebody be good to you. Anyway, I'm out. Take care.